In Ayurveda, there are some principles that we do not have in Western science, but which are very useful and explain actually quite a lot. Two of them are the terms Agni and Ama. Agni is the digestive fire, and that is what Ayurveda is basically all about. Without a digestive fire, everything kind of stops. Because when you take in food, it has to be digested in order to get the various building blocks, vitamins, and minerals in a usable form so that they can perform their function in the right place. And if not, you'll be left with unusable and partly undigested food, which your body really can't do much with. And this is called the ama. If this ama accumulates, then it can get stuck and it will eventually cause inflammation. So you can kind of think of your body as a big porous tube system, and the cleaner the tubes are, the better the input and the transition and the drainage of everything will be. And the stomach is the campfire place where the digestion happens, and after that it passes through to the intestines for absorption into the circulation so that everything gets to the place where it needs to get. So you can think of Agni as a campfire. And to have a good campfire, it needs plenty of really good wood on a regular basis. Two small sticks that are really dry, like snacks and meals that are too light, are gone before you know it, and they don't really keep the fire going, so that's not really sustainable. A very thick log is like too much heavy food, and a big meal makes it really difficult to keep the fire going. And if you look at something like wet wood, like cold and raw food, that doesn't really help your fire either, because you can't really keep a fire going with wet wood. So it is really important to take in the right amount of food and the right amount of heaviness to keep your fire going. Now, food stays in the stomach for up to 2 hours, and during that time it needs to be digested to be useful. If that fails, that then creates ama. And this ends up in the intestines, where a coating is created, and where, if there's a lot of ama that coats the intestines, it prevents the intestines from absorption, from doing their job properly, and that causes inflammation if it gets worse. And because the intestines cannot absorb the nutrients, which are almost also maybe non-existent because of a weak Agni, you can imagine that your whole body will suffer from a shortage of building blocks and nutrients and will not be able to function properly. Some people by nature have a stronger and faster digestion and need a bit more heavier food to keep it going, because otherwise their fire might get out of control and they just kind of incinerate their food, which then doesn't leave anything for the body to use as nutrients. And some people have a quieter fire by nature, or due to imbalance and illness, the fire is a bit smaller or maybe even almost out, and then it's more important to have a simpler and lighter meal to be able to strengthen the Agni again. So how do you know if your Agni is strong or not, and if you have ama or not? Well, if on average you have 3 meals a day and a comfortable daily bowel movement, and you get through your day in kind of an energetic, feel-good way, then you're on a pretty good road already. You're going to be fine. But if you don't feel hungry before every meal, and you suffer from bloating, from a sense of heaviness, excessive gassiness, burping, like the gurgling in your belly, poor sleep, if you feel pain, if you feel a lack of energy and mental brain fog, like unclarity, constipation or diarrhea, then there tends to be an imbalance. And if that's not treated, then it might go to disease. And so how can you improve your Agni and get rid of the ama? Well, since everyone's imbalance is different and everyone's structure and being is different, the approach to how to feel better is a personal one. So therefore, the first consultation is a really comprehensive intake of about an hour and a half to 2 hours to really find out what is going on and for how long it's been going on. Because the longer the imbalance has been there, the more inflammation and blockages you might have. But what generally works is regularity and simplicity. Regularity as in take the 3 meals a day around the same time every day. Get up and go to bed around 10 in the evening at the same time every day. Make sure you have a good night's sleep and eat cooked food that you eat at rest and with attention, not when you're watching TV or on your phone, or even worse when you're walking or moving. And then you will get along quite well, and that will be a good start to begin with to get your Agni back, get your Ama reduced, and feel a bit better.